put it in the oven and leave it on overnight. Now you might ask yourself, well, how do you, what? How do you leave it in the oven overnight? Doesn't it burn? Doesn't it do this? Doesn't it do that? No, because I turned the oven off. So right now my oven is at 360, 350, 360, that sort of thing. Hey, it's Greg here with MaritimeGardening.com, and today I'm going to do a really short video on cooking, and it's about slow cookers. And I'm going to talk about the slow cooker that's in your kitchen that you didn't even know you had. I mean, maybe some of you did, but a lot of you don't. I'm guessing based on what people tend to be talking about on social media and what people tend to buy. Because if you didn't know it, your oven is an amazing slow cooker. And you've already paid for the oven. So why would you buy another slow cooker? There's all these, I'm not going to name these things, but there's all these different devices that people buy that they put the food in it and you plug it in and you do the settings, and then you go to work and you come home and the food's there and it's ready. And that's convenient, that's great, it's wonderful. But I can almost guarantee you that 10 years from now, just like the bread makers everybody bought back in the 90s or early 2000s, 10, 15 years from now, all of those things that people have bought are going to be in a landfill somewhere. You're going to see them at yard sales. You're going to see them at the, I guess in Canada, it would be like a place like Value Village used stuff store. You're going to see them there for a couple of dollars because these things are not built to last. Whereas your oven is a durable good. That's literally the category it falls into. If you've bought a good oven, it's going to last 15, 20, 25 years, maybe your lifetime, right? And your oven, especially if it's a modern oven, is a slow cooker because it's so well insulated. Once you heat that thing up, it holds on to its heat really well. So this morning, I got the day off today and I'm making a pasta spaghetti sauce. And I'm about to put it in the oven for the day and just forget about it. Set it and forget it, right? I'm gonna do that right now. And I'm gonna explain to you why this works so well. So I've got my pasta sauce on the oven and I've cooked it. I'm not gonna explain how I cook. This is like for spaghetti sauce. There's 1,000 videos on the internet on how to cook spaghetti sauce, so I don't think it's worth me doing it. If I get, 1,000 likes on this video and 100 people asking me to tell them how I make spaghetti sauce, that's great, but I don't come from some amazing Italian heritage or whatever, so I think I make a pretty darn good spaghetti sauce, but I'm sure everybody does. But the point is that spaghetti sauce is one of those things that, it tastes better the next day. It tastes better the longer it's cooked. If it's slow cooked, if it's got a sort of baked quality to it. And that's where your oven comes in. So today is one of these days where I've been doing a lot of baking. So I've got the oven hot anyway. Right? I made tea biscuits in the morning. I made a cake for my son. And so the oven's already hot. And I knew I was going to be doing that today. So I also, before all this happened, made a pasta sauce very early in the morning. And I mean, this is the sort of thing I would typically do at the end of the day in the evening. Put the TV on, watch some podcast or something like that, make a pasta sauce, and then I put it in the oven and leave it on overnight. And you might ask yourself, well, how do you leave it in the oven overnight? Doesn't it burn? Doesn't it do this? Doesn't it do that? No, because I turned the oven off. So right now my oven is at 360, 350, 360, that sort of thing. And I got a pasta sauce on the stovetop. Simmering, and it needs to be turned off actually. So that pasta sauce is ready, and what I'm going to do, it's I don't know, what is it, 9 o'clock in the morning sort of thing, and actually this is something we're going to eat tomorrow, but a lot of things like pasta sauce just taste so much better the next day. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to put it in the oven. Okay, so the sauce is hot and boiling, it's a simmering sort of thing, bubbling, and the oven's at 360, it's nice and hot. And now I'm going to turn the oven off, and I'm going to leave it off all day, and it's going to slowly reduce in temperature, the oven, right? 360 right now, in 15 minutes it'll be 350, and another 15 minutes it'll be 320, and so on. And the oven will slowly cool down over the course of the day because I'm not going to open this. Okay, and the effect of that will be a long, slow cooked, simmered baked pasta sauce effect. And the things that are in a pasta sauce, the tomatoes and all that sort of stuff, they really improve quality, complexity of their flavor by that sort of baking process, right? So I'm just going to leave it in there all day. And then in the evening tonight, I'll take it out, I'll put it in the fridge because we're having it for supper tomorrow. Now tomorrow, when it's supper time, I'll turn the oven to 200. I'll put the pasta in the oven. You don't have to do that. You could put it on a stove top as well. But if it's on a stove top, you gotta watch it so it doesn't burn, right? Because a lot of that moisture that's in that sauce now is gonna be lost over the course of the next 5-6 hours, right? It's gonna simmer in there, but because the heat's coming from everywhere, it's not gonna burn. And because I've turned the heat off in the oven's hot, it's gonna stay hot, almost like you've put it like in an underground, what's that called when they do an underground pig roast, that sort of thing, right? It's not gonna burn because I'm not increasing the heat. The heat in the oven is just slowly decreasing, but it is gonna dehydrate a little bit. So if you're gonna put it on the stove top to heat back up, you might wanna add a cup of water or something like that, but not too much. Because you're gonna cook your pasta, and you're gonna cook as much pasta as you need for that sauce. All the pasta you could possibly need for that sauce. And then you're gonna take some of that pasta water, which has all that glorious pasta flavor, and you're gonna add it to the pasta sauce. You got the pasta water. You're gonna add some of that pasta water to the pasta sauce to bring it to the right consistency, right? Some people like it really thick, some people really like it really loose. After that pasta sauce has been sitting in the oven all day, it's going to be dehydrated to some extent. It's still going to be wet, but it's going to be probably not loose enough for the ideal consistency of a pasta sauce. So when we're making our noodles and the noodles are done, right, we take the noodles out of the water and we take that pasta water and we add it to the pasta sauce and just keep stirring it in until the pasta sauce has just the right consistency for a really nice pasta sauce. It's going to have some of the flavor of the noodles. Of course, there's starch in that noodle water, so that's going to help thicken it as well, and all this sort of stuff. You're going to get a wonderful pasta sauce. Now, another trick, since I'm talking about tricks and tips and stuff like that, is to make twice as much as you need for any one meal, right? So that pan has twice the pasta sauce that I'm going to need for a meal for my family. I got a wife and 2 kids. My kids are like 9 and 11 years old. So I'm going to when I make the pasta, I'm going to make twice as much pasta as I need to go for that meal. We're going to have pasta, we're going to have the sauce, we're going to, have a nice spaghetti meal. But then, everything that's left over, remember you made twice as much as you need. You mix that all together, all the pasta and all the sauce. And you put it in the fridge. And then a couple days later, on a weekday, when you haven't got a lot of time to mess around, you come home from work. You take all of that pasta and the sauce. You put it in a pan like this, is a cake, but anyway, or you put it in a cast iron pan or something like that, right? You put all that pasta and all that sauce that's mixed together. You put it in there. You put some sort of cheese or Parmesan or whatever you like. You put that on top. And you put it in the oven at 350 for half an hour, and then turn the oven off and just let it sit there for half an hour. And what you're going to get out of the oven an hour after that. So all you've done is you come home from work, you've put a bit of stuff on you've put it in a pan, you've put it in the oven, you sprinkle a little bit of stuff on it, you put it in the oven, and you go about, whatever you do when you come home from work. You let the oven do the work. When you take that thing out of the oven, you're going to have this delicious lasagna-like meal. You're going to be surprised at how good it is. Even if you've got some old red wine or something kicking around, before you put that in the oven, maybe mix half a cup of red wine into that and it'll improve the flavor. But you're going to have there's a name for that dish, basically baked spaghetti with sauce. It's not coming to mind now, but I'll put it up on the screen if I remember when I'm editing the video. But it may be the case that that leftover pasta that you've reheated and baked in the oven, you enjoyed even more than the original, right? But that way you're getting 2 meals out of making 1 meal. And for most of the time of making, I mean, it probably took me about 25 minutes to get all those ingredients together, right? And because of the fact that it's sitting in an oven all day, slowly being heated, all that sort of stuff, you get that old world, grandmother made, that pasta that you just can't seem to achieve. You're going to get that, you're going to achieve that flavor by virtue of the time. But it's not your time, right? You're doing other stuff, right? We do this all the time. When in the morning, I'll do something like this. I'll throw it in the oven before I go to work. You don't have to worry about things burning on because the oven's off, right? Then when you come home, the whole house smells, it smells amazing. It smells like someone's been cooking all day, and someone has been cooking all day. Your oven that was turned off. Your slow cooker. The slow cooker that you had that you didn't even know you had. And I know lots of people buy these wonderful devices, and that's great, and if you enjoy that, whatever. But if you haven't bought one of those devices, right, you don't have to. You can use your oven. The most energy your oven uses is heating it up. Once it's hot, it stays hot. Modern ovens anyway stay hot really well. So I hope you found that interesting. I hope that's a useful tip for some people. I've been meaning to make this video for a while, and this was just the right day to talk about it. Sorry, I'm really not doing anything in this video. I'm just talking. But it's I didn't discover this till I was like 40, right? This is such a wonderful way that you wouldn't believe how many meals that I make using this trick. On a weekday, we'll take some chicken and season it up and put it on a rack and put it in a pan like this. We'll put it in the oven for an hour in the morning while we're having breakfast and getting ready to go to work and stuff like that. And before we go out the door, we turn the oven off and we leave it there all day. And when we get home, we turn the oven back on to like, 200 or 300 and let that heat back up. And there's various, I don't want to get into the details here, but you can take that oven out of the chicken, you can take the chicken out of the oven when you get home in the morning and baste it and remove the fat and do, there's lots of different things you can do with that to sort of fine tune and make it delicious. But basically, you take some chicken, you put the spices you like on it, you put it in a pan, you put it in the oven for an hour at 350, you turn the oven off, and you go to work, and you leave it there. And it's gonna have that, this probably wouldn't work well for a chicken breast. You wanna use the moister cuts, the quarters, the legs, things like that. It works for wings as well. But you are going to have a perfectly cooked chicken. It's tender, it's falling off the bone, the skin. So you turn the oven back on when you get home to crisp the skin up if that's important to you. And it's just it's so easy. So I hope that was useful, and if it was, please like, share, subscribe. And this is a gardening channel, but I do cooking on the channel as well, and I have a cooking series. You can check that out. I've got lots of different cooking videos. It's a passion of mine, and it goes so well with gardening because you're growing food, you got to cook it. And if you want your family to enjoy the food, you put all this time and energy and whatever into growing the food. Your family is going to enjoy what you've grown if you can figure out how to make it taste really good. And the better you are at that, the more invested everyone in your household is going to be into the garden, and it's going to be essential to your life, and it's just going to enhance your life and save you money in the pocketbook. So I hope you found that interesting. If you did, please like, share, subscribe, check out my podcast, maritimegardening.com. Don't forget to click the bell so you can be notified when I make new videos. And until next time, get out there, get at it, have fun in your garden. Thanks for watching.